Welcome back to another episode of the Find Your Voice podcast. My name is Freya Casey. I'm a professional singer and vocal coach, and I'm all into personal development. I'm also a success coach, and I just love helping others achieve their full potential. Motivation is just not enough. We all know that there are times when we feel very motivated, and then there are times when we don't feel motivated. Recently, I get sucked in sometimes. Like, I'm motivated, but then of course, when I'm not in my office and then I have to spend time with the twins, it sounds like so bad. No, I want to spend time with my children. And I always talk about the twins because they're little, but my older daughter, she's 11. I've spent time with her too. I want to spend quality time with them. But I sometimes get so frustrated because I'm all motivated when I'm in my office and when I get work done. And then I get so frustrated sometimes saying like, I don't know, I can never do all the things I want to do. I have so many ideas and so many things on my mental to-do list. And then what happens is that I just fall off the bandwagon because of the fact that there's no freaking way I can get everything done. And then sometimes that causes me to be not motivated anymore because I'm thinking like, okay, I have moments when I literally break down for a minute or so and I'm like, how am I going to do all of this? Because I'm on my own. There's really not anyone who helps me. Yes, I have someone, I have childcare while I'm working. So right now, the little ones are with my babysitter. They're outside, they're going for a walk. The weather's kind of cold, but it's nice. But as soon as she leaves in about an hour, there's nothing I can do. I can literally not even get out my laptop and look at an email. And that sometimes really does it. Like, it causes me to not be motivated. But here's the number one driver. I am in an amazing group of human beings, and it is a mastermind group. All of them, each and every one of them, is a high achiever and dreams of big things. Just that alone pushes me on every single day because they hold me accountable. We have hot seats every few weeks to where one person is designated a hot seat, and it will be for 90 minutes. It will be just about that person and the topic they bring to the table. Everyone chimes in, gives their thoughts, shares any advice they might have. And that's really how you get to the next level, because you start thinking of like, okay, different perspectives of several other people. We are 8 in the group. So there are 8 people chiming in that can kind of shine a light on everything that I'm trying to work through. It's a lot about mindset. It's also sometimes about technical things. It's like, just give me a practical idea of like, oh, this is how I did it. And I didn't know about this yet. But here's the thing. Are you going to be a chicken or an eagle? There's a quote by Steve Maraboli. I didn't know who he is before. Dr. Steve Maraboli, speaker, author, athlete, veteran. Sounds pretty cool. But he said, if you hang out with chickens, you're going to cluck. And if you hang out with eagles, you're going to fly. Are you going to fly? Then you're going to have to hang out with people who are also going to fly. You have to hang out with those people who do already what you want to do. If you're always the best and the most advanced in the room, you're not going to be advancing as fast. I always try to surround myself with people who are slightly ahead of myself, slightly ahead of where I want to be or where I'm at right now, who are already doing what I am doing. And in this case, of course, it's all about business. It is a lot about personal development, about mindset, and even we don't just talk about business. There's a lot of personal stuff that gets in those topics because our business isn't just separate from who we are. We are the person who creates this business, and it's all about who we are and what we think and what we feel and what we want and what we dream. So it's very relevant who we are, and our personal lives totally have an effect. So we've talked about a lot of personal things. I remember years ago in my mastermind group, I broke down in tears, and I don't think I had planned to talk about that, but I was talking about how I have this huge desire to have another child, to have another baby, but I didn't have a partner. And it was like such a void inside of me there. So there was such pain cooped up because I didn't know, like, how am I going to do this? I mean, look at me now. Just because I surrounded myself with people who understood, who said, it's okay. If that is your desire, go for it. And it doesn't matter how, and it doesn't matter what people think about it. Then I did embryo adoption, and now I have 2 more beautiful children. And they are loved. They are very loved, and they're very wanted. And even without having a partner, which I still haven't given up, in the future I might find someone. But the point is that I am not sure if I had done it, if it hadn't been for those people surrounding me and my coach not giving me permission, but my coach asking me the right questions, to where then the answers that were then obvious, that became obvious to me, were I give myself permission. And I have worked through some mental blocks, some barriers, because this thinking of like, what are others going to think? It's completely irrelevant. Now, that doesn't mean we should never listen to anyone or take into account someone else's opinion. No. But when it comes to the deeply rooted desires of who you truly are and what you've always dreamed of, it really doesn't matter what anyone thinks of it. You know what? I still catch myself doing this, apologizing for the big, audacious dreams that I have. What if I do have that dream to have enough money to not just have a nice house? And I don't want a mansion. Really, there are some houses I've seen online, I'm like, that's too big. That's too big. I would not want to live in that. It doesn't feel cozy to me. But to have that house that is my dream house, with that nice big kitchen, with an island, with like a big island where everyone can sit and I can entertain my friends and all the kids and all their friends, with a nice pool outside, because if we're going to live in Texas, it's going to be very hot, and it's going to be very nice to have a pool and a hot tub, when it gets a little cooler even. Why do I feel still sometimes that, I don't know if I could tell anyone because people are going to think it's like too much. This is because it's instilled in us when we are already children. It's like, you have to be modest. That's crazy. Who are you to want that? Are you like, come on? And, but it doesn't matter. Like now, because I surround myself with people who have very similar big audacious dreams, where a lot of people would say like, that's crazy, but it's not crazy because it is truly what they desire. And this is what I desire. And what if I do desire to be able to fly business class with all of my 3, soon hopefully 4 children? What if I want to fly business class to Germany, every year? When we live in the States, what if I want to come twice a year, visit Europe, visit my family, and fly business class because I don't want to be cooped in this tiny bitty seat for 10 or 11 hours? That's not crazy. That is not a crazy dream. It does take a lot of money, but why should I feel like I have to apologize? And the motivation to keep my eyes on the goal and to make a bigger difference in this world, it's because I'm surrounding myself with those people who are on the same wavelength. You have to surround yourself with people who don't pull you down, but with people who push you further, who give you permission to go for your dreams. And it's like no one has to give you permission, but it's almost like they help you give yourself permission to do all the things you dream of doing. And yes, sometimes you have to work through some difficult issues. It's not always easy. And usually it's a mental thing. We have to work through things. Yesterday, there were tears in our sitting, in our session of the mastermind group. It was not my hot seat. It was someone else, but there were tears because it was something, it started out purely business talk, but as we dug deeper, turns out there were a lot of issues from the past in there that created blocks. It's just amazing to be surrounded by those people who like totally get you. Like me as a single mom by choice, like the first time was not by choice, but when I had the twins, that was completely by choice. And the next attempt is going to be, it's by choice again. It's not always easy, but I don't care anymore what anyone thinks, because the fact is, this is my life and I only have this one life. This, in who I am right now, Freya Casey, I live this once. Every day that passes, I'm not going to live that day ever again. It's the past. So I want to live every day, not like it's the last, but I want to live every day to where I feel like I'm fully permitting myself to go for my dreams and to live those dreams. What else is it all about? And I want to help others. I want to make a bigger impact. And yesterday in the session, it also became apparent that because we posed this question, it was asked, so how can I 10x my business? How can I 10x my revenue? That was not my question. It was the person who was in the hot seat. But then someone asked the question, like, why? Why do you want that? Maybe you don't need the 10x revenue. And there was a lot of digging going on. But here's the thing. He's like, what if I want it just because? And I asked myself, what is it that I really do want? Because some people want to grow big and like have bigger teams in order to scale. And some people, there are also very successful people who just are like a solopreneur. And my coach, he's a solopreneur. He doesn't have a big team. He really has no team. He does everything himself, but the way he runs his business still allows him to have amazing revenue, like close to $1 million a year. And I became clear that I feel like I'm called to make a bigger impact. Like my team, I love my team and I love blessing their families. And that's really what I want. I want to become an employer who blesses their team even more. Right now, I do what I can with a budget I have right now, but I want to have so much more budget to have a common vision. Like my team does share my vision and they're amazing, but like there's always so much to do. Like we need to grow more so we can do all the things that I have envisioned. And I feel like I would enjoy that. I would love that. I would love to grow my team more so I can have a larger impact. This is a lot of work. I do 2 videos for my Master Your Voice channel per week. Then I do a podcast. Then I do this podcast. And now I have an entirely new project that I'm going to tell you about very soon. But I have decided and it's going to launch soon. And I'm so excited. It's exactly what I want. And kind of Find Your Voice was like this interim project. It's not going to end, but my focus is going to shift more to my new project, which basically is an entirely new business that I'm going to start while keeping everything that I've been doing really going. So there needs to be some growth eventually because there's only so much work we can all do as a team, right? So surround yourself with those people who push you toward that and where it feels really good to be the person you are. Now, there are going to be Debbie Downers around you all the time, and even sometimes maybe in your own family. But again, unless it's your spouse, you don't have to spend that much time. Just really ask yourself, do I want to spend that much time with that person? Or would I rather maybe be in another group? Just think about it. Who do you surround yourself with? And who are your peers? What keeps you motivated? Because motivation alone is not going to be enough. You have to have someone holding you accountable. And that is the number one thing that pushes me on. If I said last time in my hot seat, this is what I'm going to do now, this is the action I'm going to take. And the next time I come back, I want to make sure that I've done those things because they're holding me accountable. I don't want to show up and be like, yeah, I kind of didn't do that because I don't know, I doubted this. I don't want to do this because we all know what I dream of and we all know what it's going to take. And so I better take the action. It's like for me, I want to show up. I want to show up for not just for them. I want to show up to the world. I want to show up to you. I want to show up to my singing students and give my best. And it's because I'm holding accountable. Like even with me moving to the States, I had those plans before and I kind of chickened out a bit because I didn't announce it to the world yet and no one held me accountable. This time I announced it to the world and it's very much becoming a reality now because it's all like I've told a lot of people And now it's like, oh, now I have to do it. It's not that I have to, but it's like now I legitimized it. I made it more real by talking to others about it and about the details and how am I going to do this? And now it is the reality. It's going to happen. Thank you so much for watching today. Make sure you check out my site, findyourvoice.tv. And next week, I'm going to tell you about my new exciting project. Can't wait to share. Have a great day. Be blessed. Dream big. Because a winner is a dreamer who never gives up and who never stops taking action.